These two people have the exact same job, same title, same salary, same boss. One of them is about to get promoted, the other is about to get laid off. And the difference between them isn't talent, isn't hours, isn't who works harder. It's that one of them learned a skill the other one was too scared or too proud to touch. You've heard the scary headline, AI is coming for your job. I'm here to tell you that headline is aimed at the wrong target, and the panic is pointing you in exactly the wrong direction. Because AI, sitting there on its own, is not walking into your office and taking your chair. A human being who uses it better than you, that's who takes your chair. The threat was never the machine. It's the coworker who stopped being afraid of it. Why AI will replace jobs is the wrong way to think about this and what's actually happening. The specific type of worker who's genuinely at risk. And it's probably not who you think. And the exact unglamorous way to become the person who benefits instead of the person who gets replaced. No coding required. And remember, this isn't a doom video. By the end, you should feel dangerous, in a good way. Okay, let's start. Let's fix the framing first because the framing is the whole problem. The scary version in your head is a robot walking in, sitting down, and doing your entire job start to finish while you pack a box. That's a movie. It's not how this actually plays out for almost anyone. Here's what these tools actually are. Stripped of hype. They're incredibly fast, incredibly capable assistants that still need a human to aim them. They don't know your company. They don't know which client is angry. They can't be held responsible. They make confident mistakes. They need someone to ask the right question, catch the wrong answer, and decide what actually matters. Left alone, they produce fast, generic, sometimes wrong work. Pointed by a skilled human, they produce a person doing the work of three. So the equation isn't AI versus human. It's this: human versus human plus AI. And in that fight, the machine never even enters the ring. It's just a tool one of the humans is holding. The tool doesn't replace you. It upgrades whoever picks it up. And if that's not you, you're now competing against an upgraded version of your coworker while holding a stick. We've actually seen this exact movie before, many times. The spreadsheet didn't fire the accountants, but accountants who refused to learn spreadsheets got left behind by the ones who did. Photoshop didn't fire designers. Designers who stuck to hand tools lost work to the ones who went digital. The internet didn't fire salespeople. You get it. Every tech shift, the same pattern, the tool doesn't replace the worker. The worker using the tool replaces the worker who won't. AI is that story again, just faster and louder. Quick one for the comments. Have you used an AI tool for real work yet? Like properly, for something that mattered? Or maybe just for answering those annoying emails that would take you hours to write? Let me know in the comments. Now, if the tool upgrades whoever uses it, that means there is a group of people genuinely at risk. And it's not who the headlines say. It's not low-skill workers. It's a specific mindset. And it might be sitting in your chair. Let's name it. Everyone assumes the at-risk worker is defined by their job. Cashier, data entry, whatever. Wrong lens. The real dividing line isn't your job title. It's your relationship to change. Let me describe the person actually in danger. And I want you to be brave enough to check whether it's you. The at-risk worker has one core belief. This isn't relevant to me, and I'll deal with it later. They've decided AI is hype, or beneath them, or a fad that'll pass, or something for tech people. They're often experienced, which is the trap, because experience feels like safety, and here it's the opposite. The more senior you are, the more your value is tied to a way of working that's quietly being rewritten, and the more tempting it is to wait it out. Here's the brutal part. It's rarely the whole job that gets automated. It's a slice of it. Say AI helps your team do a task 40% faster. The company doesn't think, great, everyone relaxes 40%. It thinks, we can do the same work with fewer people. And when they choose who stays, they don't keep the person with the most experience. They keep the person producing the most output, which is now the person who multiplied themselves with the tool. Experience lost to leverage. That's the whole layoff in one sentence. And the cruelest irony, the people most at risk are often the ones who feel safest right now. I've been here 15 years, I'm fine. That comfort is the exact thing keeping them from learning the skill that would actually keep them fine. Fear would at least make them act. Comfort just waits. Meanwhile, the junior, who's a little scared and a lot curious, is quietly becoming the most productive person on the team. Does this ring a bell to you? Is there someone at your work, maybe even you, who's proudly refusing to touch this stuff? Okay, so we know the threat is human plus AI, and we know who's at risk. Now the part you came for, how do you become the person on the right side of that layoff? And the answer is refreshingly untechnical. You do not need to code. You do not need to be a tech person. You need one skill with a slightly nerdy name. Let me show you. Here's the mental model for everything that follows. AI is a car, a ridiculously fast car. And right now, most of the workforce is standing on the sidewalk arguing about whether cars are real. You don't need to be a mechanic. You don't need to build the engine. That's the coding. And you can happily skip it forever. You just need to learn to drive. And driving has a name in this world. It's called being good at directing the tool. Some people call it prompting. Let's call it what it actually is. Thinking clearly and asking well. Because here's what nobody tells you. The people who get the most out of these tools aren't the most technical. They're the ones who can think clearly about what they actually want and describe it precisely. Vague human in, vague result out. Clear human in, superpower out, which means plot twist. The skill that makes you AI-proof is really just the skill of thinking and communicating clearly. That's it. That's the future skill. It's the oldest skill there is. So how do you actually build it? 3 moves, all boring, all free. Move 1. Use it at work for something real this week. Not play with it once. Take an actual task from your actual job. A report, a plan, a spreadsheet, a first draft of anything, and force yourself to do it with the tool instead of around it. You might be bad at it the first time you produce the real work. Good. Everyone is. The bad first hour is the entire barrier, and almost nobody pushes through it, which is exactly why pushing through it puts you ahead of almost everyone. Move 2. Learn to have a conversation with it, not give one command. Amateurs type one line, get a mediocre result, and conclude, see, it's not that good. Pros treat it like a junior teammate. They give context, they push back, they say, no, more like this. They iterate 5 times. The magic isn't in the tool, it's in the back and forth. The skill is the dialogue. Move 3. Become the person who brings it to your team. This is the career cheat code. Once you're even slightly good, you become the one who says, hey, we could do this faster like this. You're no longer an employee who might be replaced by AI. You're the person who deploys it. Those people don't get laid off in an AI transition. They get put in charge of it. Now, I can hear your objections loading because they're the same ones that kept people off every previous wave. It's a fad. It's cheating. I'm too old. Let me hit all three, fast, because one of them is probably the exact story keeping you on the sidewalk. Objection 1. It's just hype. It'll blow over. Maybe some of the noise will. But bet against the specific version if you want. Don't bet against the direction. Every "it's just hype" in tech history, the internet, mobile, e-commerce, was said loudest right before the thing became unavoidable. And here's the asymmetry that should settle it. If you learn this and the hype fades, you lost a few hours and gained a useful skill. If you don't learn it and it's real, you lost your seat. Look at that bet. It's not close. Objection 2. Using AI is cheating. Real professionals do it themselves. I say this with love. That is the exact sentence that ended careers in every prior shift. Real photographers use film. Real accountants don't need spreadsheets. Real writers don't use word processors. Every one of those people was technically correct and professionally finished. Your boss does not give a bonus for doing it the hard way. The market pays for results, and it has never once cared how you got them. Refusing leverage isn't integrity. It's just a slower way to lose. Objection 3. The quiet one. The real one for a lot of you. I'm too old for this. It's for younger people. Here's the reframe, and it might be the most valuable thing in the video. These tools don't reward youth. They reward judgment. The whole game is knowing what good work looks like, asking the right questions, and catching the wrong answers. And that comes from experience, which you already have, and the 22-year-old doesn't. A skilled veteran who learns to drive the tool beats a beginner with the same tool every single time because the veteran knows what good even is. Your experience isn't the thing being replaced. Paired with a tool, it's your unfair advantage. You just have to pick it up. Notice all three objections do the same thing. They give you permission to not act. That's their only function. Hype, cheating, too old, three different costumes on the same instinct, which is this feels uncomfortable and I'd like to not. And that instinct, right now, is the single most expensive feeling in the entire job market. Be honest in the comments. Which of the three is your story? Hype, cheating, or too old? We all have one. Naming it is how you take its power away. Let's flip from fear to the part that should actually excite you. Because a shift this big isn't just a threat. For the people who move early, it's the biggest opportunity in a generation. Here's why. In every technology shift, there's a window, a few years, where the tool exists but most people haven't adopted it yet. And in that window, being even slightly good at the new thing makes you disproportionately valuable because you're being compared to a workforce that's still standing on the sidewalk. We are in that window right now. The bar is absurdly low. Most people have barely tried these tools for real work. Which means a normal person who genuinely commits for a few months doesn't become slightly better than average. They become rare. And rare is where the money is. The raise, the promotion, the "can you lead this?" the new job offers. They flow to the person who can do what most people can't yet. 6 months of unglamorous practice, starting now, can put you years ahead of your own peers. Not because you're smarter, because you started while they argued. The window doesn't stay open. Early is a decision, and it expires. So the real question of this whole video isn't, will AI take my job? It's, when the two versions of you show up to work, the one who learned to drive and the one who didn't. Which one are you going to be? Because both of them are available to you right now. The only difference is what you do this week. Let's land it. AI isn't walking in and taking your chair. A human using it better than you is, which means the fight was always human plus tool versus human alone. And the tool never enters the ring. The at-risk worker isn't defined by job title, but by the belief that they'll deal with it later. The skill that protects you isn't coding. It's thinking clearly and directing the tool. And your experience makes you better at it, not worse. And we're in the rare early window where a few months of boring practice makes you disproportionately valuable. Homework this week, not this year, this week. Pick one real task from your actual job and do it with an AI tool instead of around it. Sit through the awkward first hour. That hour is the whole barrier, and almost nobody walks through it. Be one of the ones who does. We publish every Thursday. Subscribing is the lowest effort, highest leverage click you'll make today. One tap, and you keep getting the stuff most people find out too late.